Well, welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and today we are talking about your self-concept and jealousy. If you like videos like these and you want more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the bell. It'll let you know as soon as new videos come out. And if you want to support this video, you like this video a lot, want to show your love, hit that like button. It really helps to spread this information. So back to the video. What in the world does your self-concept and jealousy have to do? And how can understanding this relationship between the two improve your life? I will show you and explain exactly why in this video. So let's talk about self-concept so we're all on the same page. For one, it is a simple idea. Your self-concept is the concept you have of yourself. It is your self-image. It is deep in your unconscious, how you see yourself. But also, it's worth noting, it's how you see the world, how you see others treating you. And really, as Neville Goddard says, what you're giving permission and consent to be true, what you're assuming for your life. So that has to do with his concept of the law of assumption. But your self-concept is the foundation for how you live your life, because it is who you are giving yourself permission to be in the world, how you are allowing yourself to interact and navigate, and also too, how you're allowing others to treat you. And this can go in both ways. It can be something that you're keeping yourself from. Maybe it's a negative experience and you have a certain view of yourself. And if your self-concept shows that you stand up for yourself and you don't take that sort of action from others, maybe in your relationships, whether it be romantic or platonic, and somebody is acting out on you and they're taking out their aggression on you and they snap at you and you have a self-concept that you stand up for yourself, you're not going to tolerate that behavior in your life, and you're going to have a boundary, and you're going to stay and constitute and fortify that boundary because the way that you see yourself. On the other end of the spectrum, if you don't see yourself as very worthy and you see yourself as more of a doormat, for lack of a better word, where you're going to allow certain behaviors because that is unconsciously how you see yourself. And why do we have these certain things in our life, in our deep subconscious? Where do they come from? Well, the majority of whatever it is that you believe to be true about yourself comes from the last trimester that you were in your biological mother till about 7 years old. The reason that that happens is because of the brain wave you're in. It's called theta brainwave. There's several different brain waves. Right now, you and I are on beta brainwave. That's higher level. That's our brain's pretty active. It's a pretty high frequency. If you're stressed, maybe someone cuts you off on the road, maybe you get scared, you hear a noise, you think you're in danger, your brain's going to go high beta. And this is okay if it's a short duration of time. Unfortunately, a lot of people actually live in this arena where it's basically causing your heart to be out of coherence with your brain. And I actually did another video about heart coherence that gives you a lot more information on why this is so important for you. But basically, you're stressed out all the time. You can't think very clearly because your body is sending out all sorts of stress hormones. So that's high beta. That's not ideal. That is what you want to move away from right now. Beta, it's good. We're learning, we're involved. Right under that, in a lower frequency, it's called alpha. And that's when you're more relaxed, potentially meditative, something like that. Well, right under that is theta, and that's basically the language, the gateway to your subconscious. That's the same realm that your subconscious speaks. So what does that mean? That means when you were between the last trimester of your biological mother and 7 years old, you were in the brainwave of your subconscious, meaning that the things you saw, the way that people treated you, what you were told, regardless if it was true or not, whether an adult was playing a joke on you and you didn't understand that it was a joke, or you didn't understand that they were kidding. You literally stored that as truth, as how the world works, as who you are. This is how to be human. You can start to see that all of those hundreds, thousands of experiences has basically helped form who it is that you think you are, how it is that the world works according to you, according to your experiences, according to what is stored in your subconscious through that theta brainwave. And this is also sometimes called the programs. Dr. Joe talks about that a lot, and a lot of people actually are talked about your conditioned self, which is basically that, all the things that you took and haven't reasoned on them as an adult. You had that experience, you stored it, thinking it's true, then you go along life not really re-examining it, and you potentially are living your life right now according to the values and the interpretations you had when you were a 7-year-old kid or a 5-year-old kid. It doesn't make it wrong what happened when you were 5 or 7 years old in terms of your interpretation. However, it doesn't make it accurate. But if you're living your life according to that being true, according to that being real, you could potentially be experiencing things that there aren't in alignment with the things that you want. So what does this have to do with jealousy? Well, jealousy is an issue that comes up so many times. It can come up in friendships. It can also come up, and mostly in romantic relationships. And a lot of times, and I've struggled with this in my past, I thought, oh man, if this person acted a certain way, if this person showed me more commitment, then I wouldn't feel this way. Why are they making me feel this way? Why are they making me be so controlling or possessive? Or really, I'm not being possessive. I just want them to show me XYZ so that I don't feel so anxious, that I don't feel so afraid. It's taken me a long time to understand the anatomy of jealousy, which is essentially at the core of it. I was afraid that I was going to be abandoned, that I was going to be left, that that person was going to find something wrong or something inadequate and they were going to leave. They were going to go to somebody else. They were going to find something better in the world. It was only until I started understanding that I was first not valuing myself and then expecting that person to supersede that and make me feel better about me not feeling good about myself, that I really start to see how reckless I was being with my own responsibilities for my emotions. So as I started to see that really how I felt was underneath, and the best way I can describe it is essentially I realized that there was like this rock, and it was my rock of my ego, and it was bearing and covering the true me. I had basically constructed this false sense of self to hide my insecurity and to hide my low sense of worth with this, big vibrato personality, but really that wasn't accurate. And all those layers underneath where the truth was that I was rejecting myself. So when it comes to jealousy and self-image, I had to see that, wow, underneath my jealousy was a fear of abandonment. Well, that fear of abandonment was showing deep in my subconscious what I really thought about myself, that I was not worth very much, that easily someone could see or find something in somebody else and then they would leave me, that I was very vulnerable and powerless in this, that what I had to give wasn't really that great. So really that showed me that I wasn't valuing myself. I was self-rejecting. Therefore, as we know, Dr. Joe talks about it a lot and I talk about in my videos, electromagnetic signature is sending out lack. It's sending out abandonment. So what do you think I was finding in my relationships? I was finding lack. I was finding abandonment. I was finding people who weren't really there for me, weren't really valuing me. That was not a reflection of the truth. That was only a reflection of me. And again, I use a mirror analogy a lot because it's so easy. Most of us interact with a mirror at some part of the day and you understand the concept. You look out and you're simply seeing yourself. So if I'm writing on my shirt, self-abandonment, if I'm writing on my shirt, low self-worth and not that great, not good enough, well, I look in the mirror and I'm seeing all these things, low worth, abandonment, not realizing that I'm the one who was the author of those words on my shirt. So I was seeing a reflection of myself. As I started seeing this, I really started understanding that the only way to get away from these experiences was really to go inward, to understand that my self-concept was that of someone with low worth, not good enough. And as I started to embrace that in myself and started to heal where it is that got off track, what did I experience in which I didn't think I was good enough? And go in that realm rather than trying to change the behavior of somebody else. I looked and saw what was I doing and I took responsibility of that. And as I started to do that, I started to unhook on these feelings that I would be jealous. Oh, I just feel I'm being abandoned. You know what? I'm going to stay with me. I know that what I offer in the world is good, and those that will love and value that in return are the ones I want in my life, and they will easily see that, and I will simply be seeing a reflection of myself. If I continue to find people outside of me that wanted to abandon me or that weren't acknowledging my value and then were not reflecting that back, that was a reflection of me, and I needed to do more work and go in that wound deeper. And it always is a reflection of you. Again, electromagnetic signature is your thoughts and your feelings. Your thoughts and your feelings are your state of being. Whatever it is and whoever it is that you are being is what you will see reflected back in your life, in your external reality. So as you're moving through this and starting to think about what your self-concept is, starting to think about what assumptions you have, particularly if you struggle with jealousy, start looking to see who it is that you would need to believe and what it is you need to believe about yourself in order for it to be true that someone would leave you, that that person that your partner's talking to, that they'll suddenly see him as greater than you. What would you need to believe about yourself? Start going there and be gentle with yourself. Be loving. There's tons of meditations on this. There's a lot of people in the world doing work where you can start to uncover those wounds. And as you do, you will be able to be released from that urge and that impulse to be jealous, because you won't abandon yourself. And therefore, you will see that reflected back in the world. So understanding that things like jealousy and envy, when used correctly and going inward, can show you what you really believe about yourself. So you can rewire that, you can reprogram, you can re-reason on those experiences you had as a child, and now re-reasoning it as an adult, and begin to tell a new story, begin to set out a new electromagnetic signature, begin to be in a new state of being. And as you do so, your world will reflect who it is that you are being. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit subscribe. If you haven't done so already, like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.